Welcome to Warriors News Fan Report, the place where every heartbeat of Dub Nation turns into a story worth telling. This is where we live and breathe Golden State basketball, where rumors aren't just whispers, they're fuel for the fire that keeps us dreaming bigger every single day. If you're ready to ride this wave of speculation with us, hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and turn on those notifications so you never miss the next piece of this unfolding saga. Now, imagine this for a second. Picture the lights of Chase Center glowing on a cool San Francisco night, the crowd buzzing not just for the game ahead, but because something in the air feels different. There's a tension, not the bad kind, but the kind that makes your pulse quicken because you know there's a storm building just beyond the horizon. We've seen this before in the NBA. A superstar not yet gone but no longer fully anchored to his current team. A front office quietly watching, waiting, staying ready for the moment opportunity knocks. And the Warriors? They're not just waiting. They're listening for every creak in the door. You see, there's talk. The kind of talk that makes even the most grounded fans lean forward. Talk of a player who isn't just good, isn't just an all-star, but someone whose name is mentioned alongside the greatest in the game today. A player who could drop 30 on you without breaking a sweat, grab double-digit rebounds like they were free samples, and make defenders look like they're running in slow motion. For years, his name has floated through the Warriors' rumor mill like a myth, something so big it feels impossible, until suddenly it's not. Here's what's feeding this latest surge of hope. A trusted NBA insider dropped a nugget recently, and while it wasn't a trade announcement, it was enough to set the league and especially Dub Nation on edge. The word is that this superstar hasn't closed the door on leaving his current team. Nothing is set in stone about his future. And when you hear that kind of language in the offseason, you know it's serious. Because that's the sound of a player who's thinking, weighing, and maybe, just maybe, looking at greener pastures. We've been here before, right? The Warriors have made it clear they're always scanning the horizon for those rare moments when a top-tier player might become available. They did it when Jimmy Butler's situation in Miami looked shaky. They've done it countless times behind the scenes, always keeping the salary sheet and the roster flexible just in case a once-in-a-generation opportunity appears. And make no mistake, this player we're talking about is exactly that kind of opportunity. Last season, he averaged over 30 points per game, hauled in more than 11 rebounds a night, and added over 6 assists for good measure. That's not just production. That's dominance. And in a league where windows close fast, where even a dynasty like ours has to think about what comes next after Stephen Curry, the thought of pairing Steph with a force like this, it's enough to make you dizzy. Could it happen? Is there really a shot? Those are the questions keeping Warriors fans up at night right now. But here's where it gets tricky. The path to making this happen isn't simple. The Warriors aren't sitting on a pile of high-value draft picks like some rebuilding teams. The core, Steph, Clay, Draymond, they're untouchable. And in any trade for a player of this magnitude, you know the asking price will be steep. So, is it possible another team swoops in with a more tempting offer? Absolutely. There are contenders out there with young stars and draft capital ready to make a move. But there's one thing Golden State has that no other team can replicate: the culture, the championship pedigree, and the chance to play alongside one of the greatest point guards in history. Now, think about the dynamics here. This superstar has been loyal to his current franchise, has delivered championships, has been the face of the city. But loyalty in the NBA isn't just about feelings. It's about fit, about whether you can still contend at the highest level. And if you're looking at your roster, your cap sheet, your future, and you start to wonder if your best shot might actually be somewhere else, that's when things get interesting. That's when teams like the Warriors step in and say, "We're ready. We've been ready." And let's not pretend this is just some wild fantasy. We've seen Golden State pull off the impossible before. Remember when Kevin Durant came to the Bay? People said it couldn't be done. The cap space wouldn't work. The fit would be too complicated, and yet it happened. This franchise has a history of making bold moves when the moment is right. The question is this one of those moments? The chatter is growing, and insiders are fanning the flames. Some believe the Warriors are already positioning themselves, quietly having conversations, lining up scenarios where this deal could be more than just a pipe dream. Could it require parting with some of the young core we've been grooming for the future? Possibly. Would it be worth it to extend the championship window for Steph and give him one more real shot at the top? That's the debate happening not just in front offices, but in living rooms, on social media, and in the stands at Chase Center. And here's the thing, even if the odds are slim, the reward is massive. We're talking about a player who can change the geometry of the court, who can dominate on both ends, and who can take the load off Steph in a way no one has since KD. We're talking about a move that could redefine the next 5 years of Warriors basketball. So, yeah, it's worth keeping the door open, worth holding your breath a little every time new news drops. Because until this player signs a new deal or publicly commits to staying put, the possibility is alive. And for a team like Golden State, that's all you need, a crack in the door. Because if there's a crack, there's a way in. And you better believe Bob Myers, or whoever's holding the pen in the front office, is looking for that way in. So here we are, Dub Nation. The rumors are swirling, the possibilities are endless, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Could this be the move that shocks the league? Could we really see a front court with this superstar next to Draymond, feeding off Steph's gravity, and turning Chase Center into a nightmare for opposing defenses? The idea alone is enough to make you start running playoff scenarios in your head. But what do you think? If you can already picture this superstar in a Warriors jersey, dominating alongside Steph and Draymond, then smash that like button. Subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and let's take this all the way, because what we're about to explore could be the single most electrifying what if in the NBA right now. Look, Dub Nation, the reason this rumor has legs isn't just because of idle gossip. It's because the situation is real. We're talking about a player who, for the first time in years, isn't entirely sure that his future lies with the team he's given everything to. And when an NBA great starts to even consider the idea of a new chapter, it sends shockwaves through the league. The Warriors front office knows it, rival G-Miz know it, and the fans. Oh, we can feel it. There's an energy here that's more than wishful thinking. Let's break down why Golden State is uniquely positioned to strike. If the opportunity arises, first, there's the culture. This is a team that knows how to integrate superstars without breaking the chemistry. It's a delicate balance, but history shows they've done it before. Kevin Durant came into an already historic core and fit like he'd been here from day one. That doesn't just happen. It takes leadership, buy-in, and a willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. And if you're this particular superstar, looking at the tail end of your prime years, wouldn't you want to be somewhere you know you can win right now? Second, there's Stephen Curry himself. Let's not underestimate the pull of playing with the greatest shooter of all time. Curry changes everything, spacing, tempo, defensive schemes, in a way no other player in the league can. For a dominant forward, that kind of gravity means more open lanes, more favorable matchups, and fewer bodies collapsing on you in the paint. Imagine the two-man game possibilities, the inside-out threats, the pick-and-roll nightmare scenarios. Opposing coaches would lose sleep trying to game plan for that third. There's the Warriors' organizational savvy. Even without a treasured chest of draft picks, they've shown they can get creative. Sign-in trades, multi-team deals, unexpected. Asset shuffles. These aren't foreign concepts to Bob Myers' successors. And let's not forget the development pipeline. The Warriors have young talent that, while maybe not untouchable, could be the centerpiece of a package if they truly believe this move extends their dynasty. Now, let's be clear. This isn't going to be a clean one-for-one deal. It would be messy. It would be loud. It would probably hurt. Parting with homegrown players, sacrificing depth, maybe even taking on some financial gymnastics. But the payoff? The payoff could be another championship parade down Market Street. And tell me, honestly, if you knew that was on the table, would you really care about the cost? Here's another angle people aren't talking about enough: the psychological warfare. If the Warriors land this player, it's not just about what it does for Golden State. It's about what it does to everyone else. Think about how the Bucks would feel losing their cornerstone. Think about how the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Celtics would react, knowing the Warriors had just reloaded with an MVP-caliber talent. Suddenly, the entire playoff picture changes, and the path to the finals looks a whole lot different. And it's not just about offense. This is a player who can guard multiple positions, anchor a defense, and bring a level of physical dominance that perfectly complements Draymond's cerebral defensive genius. We've always been at our best when our defense fuels our offense. When a block or a steal turns into a transition three before the opponent even realizes what's happened. Add this kind of defensive presence, and you're turning that formula up to 11. Let's talk fit for a moment. The Warriors' offense thrives on motion, spacing, and unselfishness. This isn't an ISO-heavy, stand-and-watch system. Everyone moves, everyone cuts, everyone screens. And that's exactly why this could work. This superstar doesn't need to dominate the ball for 48 minutes to be effective. He can work in the flow, punish mismatches when they come, and still give Curry the room to do what he does best. In other words, it's not just a dream pairing. It's a functional one. Of course, there are hurdles. Salary cap realities. The potential for other teams to outbid us. The question of whether this player would actually push for Golden State as a destination. But here's the thing. If he even hints at wanting to be here, the Warriors become a factor. We've seen it before. Superstars with leverage can direct where they go. It's not always about the biggest package. It's about the right fit for the player. And few fits make as much sense on paper and in the heart as this one. And let's not ignore the human side. This is a player who's carried the weight of expectation for years, who's been the face of his franchise through triumph and heartbreak. Sometimes, even the most loyal stars need a change to reignite the fire. Coming to a team where the pressure is shared, where you're not the only focal point, where the media storm isn't solely on your shoulders, that can be liberating. And for the Warriors, it means getting a fully engaged, fully energized version of this player. Some insiders are already whispering that Golden State has had internal discussions about what if. Not formal talks, not negotiations, just the kind of contingency planning that great organizations always do. Because when the NBA landscape shifts, it happens fast. One day, everything's fine. The next, a cryptic social media post, a vague interview comment, and suddenly the trade machine is firing on all cylinders. So what happens if the door really opens? The Warriors will have to move quickly, decisively, and without hesitation. This isn't the kind of opportunity you ponder for weeks. This is the kind you seize before someone else does. It might mean saying goodbye to players we've grown attached to. It might mean sacrificing depth for star power. But dynasties aren't built on playing it safe. Now, I know some of you are thinking, we've been down this road before. Big names, big rumors, and nothing happens. And yeah, sometimes the stars don't align. Sometimes the dream stays just that, a dream. But here's the difference. The conditions this time feel right. The cracks are showing. The timing matches. The need on both sides is real. And that's why Dub Nation is buzzing louder than ever. So, what do I think? I think if this player becomes available and puts Golden State on his list, the Warriors have to throw everything at it. No half measures. No playing the long game. You don't get many shots like this. And for Steph, for everything he's given this franchise, giving him one last ride with a roster like that would be the ultimate thank you. But that's just me. What about you? Could you handle seeing some of our young core shipped out if it meant pairing Steph with a two-time MVP forward who can change the course of any game? Would you take the gamble, knowing it might shorten the rebuild window down the line, but could bring another banner to the rafters now? I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the possibilities, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a single update on what could be the most game-changing move of the decade for the Golden State Warriors. Dub Nation, stay ready, because sometimes dreams really do knock on the door.